Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Forex morning update from Phoenix Blue. My name's Mark Owen, and today is Tuesday, the 27th of June. Okay, so we had another manic Monday in the markets. What did we see from yesterday? Well, yesterday primarily we saw a sell-off in the US dollar. That resulted from a miss in core durable goods data. It missed by some way, but the one saving grace is if you were long US dollar like I was, the major levels and structure that we traded around have all held, and buying of the US dollar came back in. On the back of that, we do have more US data today, and the Fed chair lady Janet Yellen speaking. So let's see what comes in there. Will she be a dove or will she be a hawk today? On the back of that, we also have some other major news that came out yesterday. And one of the things that came out yesterday was the deal between the DUP and the Tories. So that's between Theresa May and Foster. Actually was agreed. The question is, in terms of the details of the deal and what does it mean to Brexit, I'm probably going to filter out over the next day or so in relation to whether we're going to see a hard Brexit, a soft Brexit, what benefits of Northern Ireland going to get out of the deal that's been agreed. So that should be positive to some extent, that we now have an agreement in place. But the detrimental fact could be how much does it cost the Tories in terms of the agreement? What did they have to give up in order to create the hung parliament? The other news that happened yesterday is we've seen another episode of a fat finger. The question is, was it an individual trader? Was it an algorithm? We don't know. What happened was 1.8 million troy ounces were sold of gold yesterday around 9 a.m. UK time, and just to give you an indication of the size of the volume was greater than the Finnish gold reserves in total. Hence, there was a $30 spike or drop in the price of spot gold. The question now is, will we see any sort of resumption of will there be any backlash of this kind of move? Well, the answer is within an hour the volatility had settled back down to its normal sort of 60-day volatility range, which in all honesty for gold has been extremely low. So it looks like we're back to normal trading again on gold. Okay, so today we've got 9 a.m. ECB President Draghi speaking from the Central Banking Forum in Portugal. That's going to be followed by 10:30 a.m. The Bank of England Financial Stability Report. So obviously this is going to be very interesting to see what comes out with all the key data that's been coming out of the US, coming out of sterling. We've found that the data has been pretty good since the pound has dropped in value. Then at 11 a.m. we've got the Bank of England Governor Mark Carney speaking from the Central Banking Forum in Portugal. No doubt this is going to cause more volatility spikes around sterling. Then 3 p.m. we've got the consumer confidence coming out of the US, forecasting at 116.2. Really need to see some good data here to see the major levels on the DX pairs or dollar pairs hold, and see some buying of the US dollar come back in, because we've got the DX in a range, as we're going to see in a minute. And then at 6 p.m. we've got Chair Lady Janet Yellen of the Fed speaking. Let's see what she brings to the table today, dove or hawk. My preference would be more hawkish statements, talking up a third rate hike and then potential further rate hikes for 2018 would be nice to hear for my positions currently running, but we'll have to see. Okay, so let's have a look at the dollar index. So the dollar index, as we can see, since sort of the last week in May has been operating in a tight range. You could argue it's an inverted head and shoulders, but really, if we're going to do anything with this market now, we want to see a break one way or the other, whether it's going to be above the red line or below the grey zone. Once we have that, we should see some short-term trend. If it breaks down below, we will probably see a bit more. There's definitely more room to move to the downside than the upside at the minute. And if we break to the upside, then we can target the top of the channel. Euro dollar, you can see here we've got obviously the head and shoulders forming quite quite clearly, a lot more clearly than what we can see on the dollar index. And then up at the top, you'll see ATH comms short inside that blue box. What this means is that at that period of time, the commercials they had got the most short positions or short contracts in the market going back since records have been produced on the Commitment of Traders report. Tying this in with technicals and seasonality, I expected this to be forming a potential top, whether it be a short-term or mid-term top within the euro dollar. If we do fail to break through this blue line, we're probably going to see a resumption to dollar weakness in this market go up and test the 114 area, at which point I would expect the commercials to be heavily selling the market, and we'll see that as the next area for top being formed. Dollar yen, we can see that this market, with the two horizontals I've put in here, which are roughly between 111.90 and 112.30, this seems to be a clear zone where we can see support become resistance and resistance become support, highlighted with the red arrows. If you're a range trader, you could be looking to get short from current levels and sort of target the even handle of 111. If you're a trend-based trader, then my advice here is sit out this market because you've got higher lows and lower highs. Wait for a confirmation. Sterling doing something similar, set on that major level. Short term on the daily, we've got a downtrend, simple analysis, lower highs and lower lows, but it's failing to break through that support level, the 61.8 around 126.30. We've got a zone in there between 126.30 and 126.70 of support becoming resistance. We can see structure when we look left, highlighted by those red arrows. So let's see what happens. We've obviously got the stability report, and then we've got Mark Carney speaking. So anything could happen here today. So hold on, guys. Dollar CAD has been operating in a channel now for since April, and then the lower trend line, if you go back a long way, has been operational now for a good couple of years, I think it is now. So we've got multiple touches on the support level. You can see on the next slide why we've got an aggressive entry and one end of day entry that are both still running. So the end of day entry has been running since over here. This is what triggered us in, a break of this high here, which you'd see on a daily chart. And then our intraday trades we've taken from this level here marked out in blue box. So each time we've come down to this area, we've been looking to buy. We won't be buying again because the trade through here hasn't come up. We'll be looking to target the top of this sort of range. I've got an alert set here now for when we create a new high, because when we do that, I'll be looking to add in again. These positions down here now we'll be looking to take out anytime it gets in and around the 133 area. So gold, what we're looking at here, very similar, operating within a channel. We're being very patient now, waiting for the market to come back down to the lower channel. You can see highlighted here with the fourth upward arrow and a question mark. So we're waiting for price to come down here, show some sort of rejection before we'll look to get this market long. And then I've just inset in here for you a 15-minute chart just so you can see what happened when the trader accidentally sold 1.8 million troy ounces. Look at the size of that candle and you compare it to the previous others. Yeah, it's another flash crash scenario. Okay, so that's it from the morning update today. It's come to you a little earlier than normal. So if you've got any questions about today's video, any questions about the charts, you've got any new traders out there that would benefit from listening to our morning analysis and news roundup, please share the link with them and hit like. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're posting all the time. On Instagram and Facebook, our ID is Phoenix Blue Trading. And then the next thing is we're hosting a meetup for traders every month now, one for novice traders or beginners and one for experienced traders. So if you are a full-time trader or part-time trader and you're doing it from home and you don't have much connection with other traders, then what we're going to do is we're going to host these events every month where come along, meet the Phoenix Blue team, meet other traders from around the UK. For a couple of hours we're going to discuss the markets, macro events, trading techniques, anything to do trading related, and it's a good time to socialize and network. you probably might meet a new trading buddy. Okay, so if this is of interest to you, first thing you got to do is send us an email to info@phoenixblue.co.uk with your name. In the subject line, put Meetup for Traders, and then in the body of your email, what I want you to do is just put whether you're a novice or experienced and a contact number. And then what we can do is we can stay in touch with you as and when we have dates confirmed, and at which point you can then start booking transport to the event. The event will be held initially in London, but we will be looking at moving around the country over the next few months. Okay, guys, have a great trading day. Stay disciplined, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.